So let's start at the beginning, man. Just kind of fill me in. How did you find junk removal industry, and what made you get into these big franchises and all?
I appreciate the question. Yeah, that's very good question. Kind of long, but it's good to know for the audience. So as you can tell from my accent, I'm from Venezuela. I'm Latino. I got here in US back in 2015 after being kidnapped in Venezuela. Yeah, you hear it. I was kidnapped in Venezuela. Um, I can just diving into the topic why, but doesn't matter right now for the audience. I start in this country here in Houston, Texas, looking for jobs, looking for opportunities. I'm a chemical engineer. I got a master's degree in chemical engineer. I did my PhD degree in Venezuela. Everything. I was working for an oil company down there. So when I got here, I found myself like, okay, what am I going to do? Other people might say, well, just go find a engineer job. Okay, how easy it is? Well, not that easy because you need to have, work permit. You need to have social security. You need to have your documents, and I didn't have those. I was in process to get them. So during the process, I started to just look for jobs and opportunities online. I got to this page, Craigslist.com, and I found this ad of a junk removal company, big trucks, orange truck, gray branding, literally just pop up that branding in my eyes. And I decided just to give it a shot to submit my resume. My resume was in Spanish. I have to translate it into English with Google translators and everything. And they reached out to me via email and they say, yeah, let's go ahead and interview you. So we got an interview, and I got rejected because I didn't have documents. And of course, I mean, my English was very, very poor, like pretty much nothing. And I could barely communicate. Um, I got rejected. So by the time I was leaving the office, there was a truck pulling up. It was a guy and another guy in the truck. One of those guys was a Mexican guy. His name is Oscar. Hey, Kevin Hess. He's a legend, brother. I love that guy. Amazing, amazing guy, human being, beautiful. So that day, this guy he was like, "Hey, what's going on? Did you apply for the job?" I said, "Yeah, I did." How did it go? Not so well. He said, "Why?" Well, I got rejected. Why? These people are looking for people. I mean, these guys are looking for junk haulers and stuff, for employees. And I said, well, it was because of my documents, my immigration paperwork and everything. And they said, this guy he said, well, you know what? I'm gonna talk to the boss real quick and see what's going on. They'll contact you. They'll contact you. I promise you. 6 days later, they reach out to me and they say, hey, let's give it a different shot. And this time it was the manager calling me. I was in that office for the second time again with the manager and the boss of the franchise. I sat down, I was very scared because I mean, I didn't have anything. I got my degrees in Venezuela. Oh, that's great. But here, nobody. And they actually interviewed me for the second time and they decided to pull the trigger and hire me under special circumstances, very special circumstances. Actually, my salary, my wages was $4.25 per hour, when in Texas is 7.25 the minimum. So you can tell.
Yeah.
Don't do that to your guys, despite their immigration's status. So I got there and I worked my career there as a wingman, as a truck helper. Then I moved all the way to truck captain, then the ops manager. The franchise, College Hall in John, they had like an internal social media channel. It's called Jammer, where they use and you post stuff about what you're doing inside your locations. And I got nominated to be College Chance of the Year, and I won the award after a few months in Tampa. Once I came back, I was promoted as a general manager. Then the franchise, corporate office, they reached out to me to be pretty much a ramp up coach for the East Coast of United States. And I was just traveling a lot. My wife was, with a baby, you know, by herself. She had lost her mom a few months before here in Houston. She was just by herself. I decided just to, resignate to quit, and just looking for another job, another opportunity. I come across with 100 at Jump. I was working there for 6 months straight as an assistant manager. Learned a lot because I was coming from the school, college chance, and the other day I heard Kevin has he said the same. Not all the franchises are built equal, and that's true, right? But I learned a lot from that franchise in Houston, Texas. After that, I got a job, not a job offer. I got a project that it was pitched to me. A couple guys they pitched the opportunity to have a junk removal company, so I didn't have to invest any money, like literally zero money, besides knowledge and all the materials that I can put on the table to build it. So we built we will junk removal and hauling. We grew that franchise. We actually grew that location into a franchise. So we franchised that business with 3 locations. After working inside that brand, I found out that I was pretty much the only guy working hard. And it sucks when you are in business, right? And this is something for the audience. If you are in business, when you have a partnership, your business partner, they need to know something that you don't know. So it complement each other, right? You don't have to be the only one person working. But that happened to me, and I was just really tired of the situation. I just literally exit from that brand, and then few months later, just trying to figure it out and finding out what to do, I came across with opportunities in the marketing space because prior this story that I'm telling you, I was heavily invested into learning marketing for college hunts. I learned a lot to generate, leads, generate opportunity, doing a lot of cool stuff in the technical side. And I was just working as a marketing agency for small business, home service, pressure washing, duct cleaning, stuff like that. And I transitioned that business into what it is today, Junkify.com, which is it is a marketing agency. It is pretty much performance-based marketing agency dedicated to generate pre-qualified and ready to book appointments or actually calls to prospect in the junk removal space, as well as the site services such as porta potty rentals, dumpster rentals, fence rentals, stuff like that. So we work with multiple networks around the country, generating actually calls to other brands. But yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing right now.
I want to digest some of that stuff, man, because that is some story you got right there, brother, for sure. What did what was your experience working at these franchises? Like, what did you like that they did, and what didn't you like?
Mm, good question. I like the fact that everything it is in writing, right? I know it's a simple things to say, but when you know your process, right? It's kind of like when you're in McDonald's, when you taste a a burger here in Houston, you can taste it in Los Angeles, California, and it will just be the same taste. When you productize your business like they do, it makes so easy for people to follow instructions and to really understand what to do and what not to do. I really love that. However, you can personalize the whole experience, you just give your special touch. But I really like how they productize the actual junk removal service. I really love that. What I don't like, there's so many things that I don't like, but some of them, like one of them actually, is that when you are inside a franchise model, right? You pretty much have to follow their rules, follow their vendors, follow multiple things that even though you don't want them, some of them, you have to just accept it just because it is part of the brand. Like the flexibility for you to look for more businesses to grow your location. You have to go through vendor. You have to get approval for everything. And on top of that, you are limited into a specific territory. And that to me is huge because everything in the business, I'm talking about junk removal right now. Everything in the junk removal business start with their location, with the market research, with like knowing your area of operations. But when you are pitched a location or an area that is just served then, just because they have people breathing, that doesn't mean that area is going to be good for you. So I know not only in the junk removal space, but in other industries, that is a big deal because a lot of franchise business owners and locations really start dying after a month of opening the franchise just because the area is not good. Like, how in the world are you going to operate an area when you don't have that many people to serve? One, and number two, the median household income doesn't match to this service, which is a luxury service. If you don't know, you are in the luxury service business. Junk removal is a luxury service. And people that have money are the only ones who are able to afford this type of services. People have to have money and you have to know your area. So that's actually one of the things that I really don't like from franchises, that sometimes they don't do super deep market research when it comes to providing a territory for a location.
See, that's crazy to me that they're not, I would think it was like their standard, like they would have like a set population that, before they actually open a franchise there. And it sounds like they almost really don't care, how you're going to do as long as you buy into their franchise. Is that accurate to say that?
Um, Kind of. I would say this, right? So, for example, let's talk about the market of Houston, which is one of the largest market in Houston, Texas. When I was the general manager, sorry, the ops manager, we were operating the entire Houston area. Like literally, we divided into four quadrants, right? Northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest, in the middle, which is downtown. There's so much that you can cover, right? With a few trucks, 5 trucks, whatever. And that is not the smartest way to approach this because you have to grow deeper but no wider, right? Now, in Houston, Texas, there's many places, many areas that are literally you don't have to operate that area because there's no money there. Like, why in the world you're gonna do that? I don't want to mention this because it doesn't make any sense right now. People need to just find it online, whatever. But there's some part of Houston, Texas, the greater Houston, Texas, that are literally you don't need to operate, you don't need to market that territory. But there are some franchise locations there. And believe it or not, a few months ago, I was in a meeting with some of the franchise owners from a brand in Houston. It's a franchise in Houston, and there were 7 people. 4 out of 7 that were struggling because of the area, and it makes completely sense. It's I mean, it's not like they are bad business owners. It's not like they are doing bad stuff. It's just that the area is not helping, and that's a big deal.
What is, if you don't mind me asking, like how much does it cost to buy into one of these franchises? Like what's like the average price for somebody to get into that?
So the prices varies, right? But you can get them, 250, $200,000. Some of them, if you have a location that is grown and they're profitable, we're talking about good money. But it's big money when it comes to buying a franchise, and you have to, before pulling the trigger, you have to really understand your market and understand your numbers. I was in a meeting with a merger acquisition company that they were going to buy a franchise location of a brand, uh, X brand, and they didn't pull the trigger. They were just about to pull the trigger, But it was costing then, I think it was around $400,000 to acquire that location. It was already working. But when you see the numbers, when you see the whole financials of the business, and you forecast those financials, those people, they know their numbers, right? Like people that are buying businesses like that, they're looking for something specific. They're not looking for revenue. They're looking for EBITDA, right? They're looking for profit. So that's something to be aware of, right? When you are into this of buying businesses, not only it's because they're making money in revenue wise, it means like they're being profitable. Sometimes they're not. Not because a company is making seven figures doesn't mean it's profitable.
Now, what do you get when you buy into these franchises? You get all the leads. Like, do you get any equipment? Do you get a headquarters? Does anything come with any of this?
Well, so for example, when it comes to buying the business, you get number one, the lead acquisition process or the customer acquisition process, which is pretty much from the call center service 24/7, where you don't have to pick up the phone call. You can rely on the call center to do the job for you. You get their marketing team that they should be specialized, of course, into generating opportunities in pay traffic for you. You get also a some marketing departments that are for business development, where they literally all they do is pick up the phone call, sending emails, and doing cold calling to companies to get business, get commercial contracts, and then they acquire those commercial contracts and they literally sending it straight to the actual locations under special circumstances and a special process that they need to follow because it's their deals, right? Um, you get IT support. You know, if there's something going on in your actual business page, they can just go ahead and take care of that. You get your the whole Google My Business listings and everything, and they can literally do the whole marketing and optimization for you, the whole updates and everything. You get you know a lot of documents such as manual of operations, operations manual for operating, marketing, offline marketing, um, a framework to do networking, a framework to meet people and business, do business with people, how to sell the services on site, how to price correctly, how to go about this and go about that. So you get the whole documents. And of course, I mean, you get sometimes some. I mean, the majority of those franchise locations, you get also the financial department where they can just do pretty much the whole financial for you, the CPA and everything. All you have to do just pretty much categorizing the actual bank processing and activity with them via emails or via phone calls, and they do the whole thing for you. But you get a lot of stuff from them. I mean, you get a pretty much a cookie cutter process to build a successful business. But like I said, it depends on the actual business owner and how hungry they are. Number one. Number two, how involved they are into the business. Um, I was lucky, and I thought at the beginning I was not that lucky to have a business owner that was not that involved into the business. And to me, it was so hard to understand the reality and to suck it up. Like, okay, I'm by myself, right? I have to make this work. But at the same time, it was a blessing because it just allowed me to learn in a hard way without having somebody to tell me, hey, what to do. To have to figure it out, pretty much.